ça, j'ai ça.
All right, count it down.
OK, 3, 2, 1, il est parti!
Shoot.
Yeah!
Trop vite, arrête de crier. C'est pas assez.
It is like this. The second you hear click, it's out. Oh, that is awesome.
Pourquoi tu l'as pas mis haute un peu plus loin?
T'aurais pu glider un peu plus longtemps.
Ah oui, j'ai des 3 secondes centimètres.
As-tu un autre moteur pour ça, là? As-tu un autre moteur?
T'as quel piton?
Là, il va smoker ou il va allumer. Il va smoker ou il va allumer. Va! Ça dans 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tiens-là.
Fuck.
Dispose.
Ah, c'est. Oh shit, no! Oh! Not good.
C'est ça qui est en feu.
Le quick link a lâché.
Non, il est en feu. Il y avait de la flamme sur le bout du parachute. Il a brûlé la corde. Ta corde a brûlé. Il y a la petite corde qui a brûlé, je te le dis, moi. Il y a eu du feu.
They lunch on frozen lake champlain.
Oh no, forget the frozen thing.
That's a point. It's just too damn cold.
All right, let's take a look at what happened here. First off, a perfect liftoff right there. Going straight for the kill zone for safety reasons in case anything goes wrong like this time. And now I'm handling a pretty good glide. This is going to be the longest glide ever because I'm not using the altimeter here, only the TripleFire, the manual deployment. Now, I lost control right about here, and I was looking for the switch. I fumbled with the switches, and this is where I'm fumbling with the switches. I finally deploy, and the chute stayed right there, and the aircraft kept going, and obviously, that caused significant damage, which we're going to take a look at, and the parachute came back all the way down on its own. Floating right there. It didn't take too long because the motor mount was still attached to it. And there's the walk of shame. Not the kind of return walk you want. But I keep my head up because, I mean, this is repairable and it's gonna happen with this kind of design. It's got some daring aspects to it. You're gonna see it in the aftermath. And let's take a look at this. First off, the rudder servos gears have been completely stripped. Even turned off, servos apply little resistance, like you see on the Elevons here. They both apply a little resistance when they're off, but the rudder servo is completely, like, gone. So that's gonna have to be replaced. And, down along the wing, when you see a switch popped out like that, you know something bad happened inside your electronics bay. So the rear electronics bay took an impact, obviously, because the nose cone, as you see, shifted back a good 6 inches into the airframe. The airframe had to be torn open to allow the nose to be removed. It was pinned hard in there, and really had to work my way into that and get that thing loose. It's pretty difficult. The nose cone itself may look good, but it is completely total. It's gonna have to be replaced. The forward electronics bay, the TripleFire that you see here, and the 5.1 volt BEC, and now the altimeter, all appear to have survived. Visual inspections have been done. They look good, but I'm going to have to obviously test them, power them on, and see if they're good. The battery, however, did not survive. It actually knocked against the bolt that you see on the rear of the forward bay there and took some severe damage. I will not be using that again. Now, on the upside, the wing took the impact really good. This wing is tough as crazy, and it is just... I mean, I think it's the second time it takes a hit, and it just takes it really well. The camera, surprisingly, is still fully functional. I'm just have to clean it up. And the wires look dramatic here, but they're only the connectors between the rear bay and the forward bay. There really isn't that much damage done to that electronics bay. Visual inspection of the receiver, it's not yet been powered on, but visual inspection of the receiver seems to show that everything's still okay. In fact, the board of that electronics bay didn't even crack, but you can clearly see that the safety beam, the thing that retains it, from going anywhere has actually bent after the crash. That is not a lens effect, it's actually bent. So damage there, some stuff has to be rebuilt, but at least the expensive electronics again survive. Now, the cause of this crash, the shock cord, as you can see, it's a clean cut right here. I'm using 2 strands of 1/2-inch nylon elastic, 6 foot worth, tied to the bulkhead of the aircraft. It's only a lead, the rest is all tubular nylon all the way to the chute and the motor mount. This lead is designed to take the impact of the deployment and then prevent zipper along the rear neck, which would be really totally damaging to the aircraft to get rear zipper. Now, a technique that I thought would actually make this shock cord lead safer actually worked against me over time. See, this specific shock cord lead has flown at least 15 times on 3 separate rockets, X10, X11, and ballistic approach. All 3 happen to be high-speed, high-impact deployment rockets. I happen to tie knots along the length of the 2 strands of this shock cord to basically keep the 2 strands together, make them somewhat act as one shock cord and not cause a tangle without obviously tying too many knots along the length. One of the knots on this particular lead after all these flights got tighter and tighter to the point where at the end of this flight it acted almost as a pair of scissors, cutting the shock cord leads clean at the same location. Were this a normal break, the 2 strands would have broken each at their own different location, which is clearly not the case. This is a perfect clean cut. A good look at both ends of the shock cord also proves that this is absolutely not damage caused by the ejection charge in any way. It wasn't fire, it was really a break. Now, I'm partly at fault here. Reason being is I told myself to inspect these nylon elastic shock cords very often, and this is something I did not do for that flight. And we all know that nylon elastic shock cord is prone to failure. It should be inspected very carefully at every flight, was not. And I'm fairly certain that as tight as the knot had become, there must have been some visible damage before that flight for it to release that easily and get such a nice clean cut there. Because that deployment was not as hard as some others that I've seen that went fine. So really the knots appear to be a bad idea. So the technique is going to be now to use strips of masking tape just to join the 2 strands together along their length loosely, just so they don't tangle. And I will replace this nylon elastic lead every 5 flights of service. So that should actually add that touch of safety that it needs to make sure that this absolutely never happens again.